how do you model return? Like a user drops off and then returns back. We're trying to identify if a user, for example, runs into an error, is it going to stop them from returning back, or what percent actually do return back?
Are you tracking errors currently?
We're tracking errors internally, but not through Amplitude.
Why I ask is, say if you're tracking certain like page errors, like 400 page errors or certain other responses, or even if you're tracking that response and like from a server side, but can stitch it to a known user, the more context you add to your insights and segmentation into Amplitude, it's going to help you be able to answer those questions more straightforward. Making sure you're enabling the data collection of errors within your customer data stream is more of like a best practice I recommend. Just making sure that signal can be mapped to the user so you can do that robust segmentation. Other than that, you could do modeling of the data in the same way you do like a mixed media model to say, okay, we had an error here. Did we see a spike or a drop in certain things that we were expecting or not seeing a return as expected? The thing with that is it's more inference off the data versus when you're seeing in the data that people who actually directly experience those issues and pain points, you'll be able to have a much better conversation and much better analysis of what type of errors there were specifically. Like if it was a 400-page error on a certain part of the conversion funnel, then you can start having more of a better conversation of what the hypothesis you want to test to fix, or like what issue you want to address for that, resolving that issue or bringing them back.
Okay, that makes sense for identifying the exact error or reason why
Mhm.
it drops off. But I guess I was more wondering if a user experiences any type of error, how do we know if they will return or not, or just completely abandon? Is there like a feature?
If you're looking at, you're bringing out your cohorts and you can see people who've come back, you can essentially start seeing the retention report. You can see who drops off based off the timestamps. Because if they've never come back and never done anything else since that error, then you start seeing them coming from being an active user to an inactive user. And then you can start having more of that analysis of how much of a drop off you're anticipating from certain errors and issues. It's more about what happens moving forward that helps you do that analysis. I'd recommend if you have a certain constraint of time that really is important to your business of like, hey, we need them to be converting in 7 to 10 days. Making that band of time within that retention report at 10 days will let you know how many people are you losing because of that error.
That makes sense. Thank you.